Alrighty, looks like we have a mostly plunder kingdom here. You can tell by all the yellow and orange. There is a handful of Cornucopia Guilds cards as well. In fact, I think it's just these two. Yeah. Okay. The landscapes are Fawning and Prosper. I need to figure out which card is the Fawning card. Pickaxe. So anytime you gain a province in this kingdom, you gain a pickaxe as well. And then looks like Shop goes with Ferryman in this kingdom. Okay. So for draw, there's Carnival or Mapmaker. The only village is Taskmaster. It's not a village the turn you play it, but if you can keep it in play, it functions as a village on subsequent turns because you're getting the +1 action back without having to play it that turn. Trashing is Pickaxe, and plenty of plus buy. Sack of Loot, Jeweled Egg, and Abundance all say plus buy. And then Sack of Loot, Pickaxe, and Jeweled Egg can all give you loot, most of which have plus buy on them. Okay, so probably the goal here is to get some number of Taskmasters in play and then play some Carnivals for draw. I wouldn't entirely rule out a deck that was just a bunch of map makers. You thin a little bit with Pickaxe, um, and then if your opponent ever gains a victory card on that turn, you're probably triggering all your map makers and then drawing your deck. Depending on the loots you pull, you could potentially even trigger that yourself. You know, if you get Hammer, for example, and gain an estate, you could trigger your own map makers. I think that's a little bit too inconsistent. I'd rather go for Carnival and Taskmaster, I think. So how to get there? Uh, Probably you want to Pickaxe for thinning. Pickaxe is a good card, but not the best at trashing cards. But it is the only way to trash cards here. Perhaps you could skip Pickaxe, at least early on, and just take a Grotto. I mean, you probably want Grotto regardless. Grotto is also a very good card. I would not mind setting aside my cards. Maybe just the existence of Grotto is enough reason on its own to not bother with Pickaxe early and get Carnival with the first 5. If you open with a pair of Grottos, your deck becomes very consistent very quickly because you cycle through like basically your entire deck, and then your next Grotto can set aside 4 cards, and then you cycle your deck and your Grotto sets aside 4 cards, and you're always seeing 9 cards, so you're probably not betting. Uh, but just a pair of Grottos is going to hit 4 consistently. Because if you draw 9 cards, play a Grotto, set aside 4, you have 4 cards left in your hand. If they're just coppers, you're not hitting 5. So you need to add something to that deck to get to 5. Hmm. It could just be open Taskmaster, take a Grotto, set aside 3 on the relevant turn, play the Taskmaster, get a Carnival, and you're hitting 5 from then on out. I think I'm leaning towards Taskmaster Grotto as an opening. I'm not sure if this is right. I could see a lot of possible openings here. This shuffle is mediocre. I'll set aside 2 now and take the second Grotto. Hopefully I draw it on top. I'd rather see the Grotto in the hand. That's going to be a very large turn. Nope, no dice. Okay. I want Carnival, but it's not that great until I've got the Taskmaster set up. So I'm thinking probably Ferryman. I also want Pickaxe, but it's not that great when I haven't hit 5 yet. Pickaxe isn't going to help you hit 5 again. Uh, I'm not accomplishing anything this turn, so I'm just going to set aside 4. Don't love these shuffles so far. Um, this hand is also mildly awkward. Can't play Shop then Grotto because I already had the previous turn's Grotto in play, so I got to play this first. I don't mind triggering this shuffle. First off, there's Taskmasters down there, so it's not all junk. And then, secondly, Grotto sifts so many cards, it's not even that much of a threat to top deck a bunch of bad cards. Okay, I've hit 5 for the first time. I'm gonna say the first 5 is actually Pickaxe. I don't have plus buy yet. And I'll need plus buy if I want to buy 5 plus a thing on a future turn. Shop is gonna be a good target for Pickaxe. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a Carnival. Okay, now I think the deck's starting to work. Probably this Ferryman dies next. Not a bad card to have in the deck, but I don't need it. I do want loot. The bot is greening on the early side, which actually isn't terrible in a kingdom where you got fawning and the province buys are coming with a valuable card. Still seems a bit early to me. Not the best carnival ever, but I guess somewhat predictable given the way that Grotto works out. You're going to have a lot of jump cards and you discard a lot of the time. All right, I could use some plus buy here. Nope, no such luck. I'll click Prosper. Got to make sure to gain a $5 card because I haven't yet for the whatchamacallums, the Taskmasters. Take a bunch of these. Ooh, this is not great. I have not found the second grotto, but I do want to get set back up. Uh, can I fix this problem somehow? What am I getting loots-wise? If I had that sextant in hand, I could play the sextant, pitch the grotto, play the grotto with my orb. Uh, no dice. Maybe I can get a sextant by doing this. Nope. Okay, so I am at risk of dudding here. Let's go ahead and just get all of that off the top now. I probably need a few more carnivals. See a ferryman. I don't think I have enough villages to play additional draw cards like a map maker or another carnival. Yeah, I can play maximum 3 carnivals. Uh, Took one more taskmaster and another ferryman. Ooh, yeah, this is a dud. Predictable dud. Actually, this is still a pretty dang bad draw. This was a clean shuffle. I just drew a bunch of estates and cards off the top. Unfortunate. All right, I would buy a province here if I could. It would come with a 5 cost card, so the taskmasters would stay in play, but I can't quite afford it. So I'll just take ferryman. I was about to buy a duchy, but the bot has a bunch of map makers, and that might be ill-advised. Okay. Getting somewhere. Will I be able to take another turn? If I can, I'll probably have a good turn. I don't think I want to trigger this shuffle. Actually, the sextant's going to trigger the shuffle either way, so I might as well play the ferryman and get further through it. Set aside 4. Sack of loot. Sword, not a bad loot. I'll go ahead and play that. Pitch a ton of junk. Rather turn both of these into loots or just pickaxe the pickaxe? Probably both of these into loots and keep the pickaxes around. Ooh, that's a great loot, I think. I know I've got at least a figurehead on top. So I'm going to go ahead and play this as a carnival. Draw all that. Okay, actually, I just do the figurehead and then a bunch of action cards, alas. Hmm. Okay, probably just a bunch of duchies now. Didn't activate any map makers, that's good news. And then hope to get another turn. Okay, yeah. Carnival. Carnival. All right. I think the discard is mostly junk, right? The start of my turn, I discarded. There's 2 coppers down there that are somewhat worth drawing. There's an estate, a duchy. Yeah, there's actually not that much of value down there. I was wondering how worth it is to play these versus just pickaxe them. Um, I only need 2 targets for the pickaxes. Play the Ferryman first. Uh, so side. Don't think I'm gonna need another turn. Maybe I will. Yeah, this just barely got there. So many things to resolve, all for naught. Okay, yes, the bot did the other thing I was considering, which was, well, I mean, did play actually with a little bit of Carnival and Taskmaster, like half and half in between these two, but it only had the one Taskmaster and focused more on map makers. I think this also looks like a reasonable deck. I think I still prefer the Taskmaster thing. I think my early shuffles were not so hot, and it still managed to get set up in time. Although I was still like probably one turn shy of the bot winning, and I am player one, so I wouldn't rule out the map maker thing. Um, yeah, I don't have anything else to say.